Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Career Launcher. Welcome to Career Launcher's YT channel for law aspirants. We are going to do a series of sessions. I'm going to be doing a series of sessions on reading comprehension. Let me first quickly set up my chat with you. Let me know if you can see me and hear me clearly. Good evening, Priyanshi. All right. Now let us start. So, as usual, I have selected an editorial from the Hindu, a very topical editorial. We will read it. I will give you a minute for each slide. If I feel that there is a lot of text in the slide, I'll give you a minute and a half. After that, we will discuss the questions. All right. Mm, Good evening, Agastya. All right, let's start. 416 words. Normally, a CLAT passage is around 350 to 400 words. Don't last year CLAT, rather this year, if I can put it this way, or 2025 CLAT 2025 was easy except for a few contentious questions. But when we start, we'll start with easy passages. The point of the session is to make you a good reader. How do you become a good reader? How do you become good at RC? Through sheer practice. All right. Okay. I'm going to show you this slide for a minute. Your time starts now. In another 10 seconds, Agastya. I said 1 minute. 1 minute is not yet up. Yes, now it is up. I'm going to the next slide. All right. Okay, start the next slide. One minute for this slide is up, but I'll give you 30 more seconds. All right, done. All right, let's look at the questions now. After the first question, I'll summarize the passage for you. What is the central theme of the passage? What is the main point the author is trying to make? What is the story of the passage in one sentence? Is it the need for a robust data protection framework and the shortcomings of the draft Digital Personal Data Protection Rules 2025? Is it a critique of the Supreme Court's verdict in the KS Puttaswamy versus Union of India 2017 case and its role in the data protection? Is it the impact of digitization on data privacy violations in India and the futility of data protection rules, or is it just a detailed analysis of how technology firms collect and misuse personal data? All of you have given the right answer. That is A. Indeed, A is the correct answer. Let's now quickly summarize the passage. Whenever you get a passage, whether it is easy or difficult, once you've finished reading a first paragraph, quickly tell yourself what do you think is the main theme of that paragraph and move on to the next paragraph. The draft Digital Personal Data Protection Rules 2025 is a long overdue advance in the direction of enforcing the fundamental right to informational privacy for Indians, affirmed by the Supreme Court in the landmark Puttaswamy versus Union of India case in 2017. So, this is a good step forward. The Digital Personal Data Protection Act, which these draft rules seek to enforce, was passed in Parliament over a year ago. This 7 year wait from 2017 till last year has most likely not been without cause for the privacy of the data of Indians. Why? Why has it come at a great cost? Because it coincided with a period that saw a rapid growth in digitization. One side, you have the data protection rules to be passed. They took 7 years to pass it. And in these 7 years, our data was there, out, very vulnerable. The proposed rules offer direction on how online services will be required to do the following: communicate the purpose of their data collection to users, safeguard children's data online, establish the Data Protection Board of India, set standards for government agencies to follow to be exempt from the Act's provisions. That means certain government agencies will be exempt. They can collect data, but there is a procedure they have to follow, and spell out the procedures to be observed if personal data is breached by a data fiduciary. Fiduciary means anything involving trust. So, somebody whom you've trusted with your data breaches personal data, sells off your personal data, then what is the procedure to be observed? All right. The concerns regarding the proposed DPBI's institutional design have not been resolved. There are a lot of flaws in the design and they haven't been resolved. It may not be realistic to expect such an outcome from subordinate legislation. So there are certain concerns that they have from the this data protection rule thing, and Data Protection Board of India, its institutional design. There are a lot of concerns about how it has been designed, but they have not that those concerns have not been resolved. So one can't expect a lot from this. That's what author says. Author's expectations are not very high. Next, the so the author is very critical of the government. It is regrettable that the government continues to cloak, cover, hide the rule making process of a critical policy such as this in secrecy. Since Justice B.N. Sri Krishna Commission was convened to draft the first bill, the government has consistently declined to place recommendations from stakeholders in the public domain. Stakeholders in the public domain, people who are involved in this entire data protection area domain, have been giving recommendations, but the government has not taken it. And it has foreclosed such disclosure for this draft rule as well. For legislation where the stakes are high for individual users as well as large technology firms, you need to follow an open, deliberative process. It can only be facilitated when industry associations and the general public can find equal footing by being equal participants. Right now, the government has shrouded everything in secrecy. The author says there has to be an open process. Industry, general public have to be given equal importance, and there has to be transparency about their viewpoints during the consultation process. In the short and medium term, it is essential for the government to proceed with these principles in mind while never departing from the key aims of any data protection law. The government has to take the interest of the stakeholder, but it has to also remember the main aim of any data protection law is to minimize data collection, is to promise disclosures, and to penalize neglect in protecting user data, discouraging surveillance practices both by the public sector and the government. This is the key. You should not collect data where it is not necessary. You should promote disclosures where data has been collected. Why did you collect it? For what purpose? If user data is not protected, then there have to be penalties for it, and surveillance practices should be avoided. This process must also play out in a timely fashion because we've been waiting for too long to obtain the rights that were given to us in 2017. 2017, in the case, we were given rights of data protection. It took the government 7 years. So do this fast because we've already been waiting too long. Else, the people's confidence in the government's seriousness about protecting their data from government agencies as well as private enterprises will be shaken. Right? Very nice article, critical of the government, critical of the new data protection rules. All right. Question 2. What is the implicit assumption in the author's claim? Means author has made, what is the main argument of the author, and on what basis has he made that argument? That basis of that argument is his implicit assumption. So what is his implicit assumption? On what basis? What has he taken for granted when he has made the claims, his main argument in the passage? Government agencies are exempt from scrutiny under data protection rules. Data breaches have only occurred because of delays in implementing the act. Technology firms have a greater responsibility than governments in protecting user data, or transparency in rulemaking is critical for public trust and policy effectiveness. What is the correct answer? I've got three answers so far. Not this. Government agencies. There's a procedure. So, yes, certain government agencies under certain conditions will be exempt from scrutiny. That is one of the assumptions, but not that all government agencies at all times. So, this is wrong. Data breaches have only because of the delay, he's not saying, though the delay did, we had to pay a price for it. He says both technology firms, government, private parties all have a responsibility. Correct? He is saying that the government has to be transparent, otherwise, they will lose public trust. That means he is saying that transparency in rulemaking is critical for gaining public trust. Excellent. Next. Which of the following is true according to the passage? The draft Digital Personal Data Protection Rules 2025 resolve concerns regarding data protection in India. The Data Protection Board of India's institutional design remains a point of contention. The draft rules suggest that private enterprises are almost solely responsible for surveillance practices. The government has actively sought public participation in drafting data protection rules. What is true? So remember, in these cases, the wrong answers will be incorrect because of the use of one word, or it may go against the tone, contradict what the author has said in the passage. What is the answer for the third one? I've got only one answer so far from Priyanshi. Did he say that the draft digital personal data protection rules resolves concerns regarding data protection act? He says it remains contentious. So is true. I'll tell you how. Second one says, yeah. Can I go back once? Yes, I can go back once. Actually, in any first paragraph I'll show you for 20 seconds, second paragraph again I'll show you for 20 seconds. Any direct question like which one is true, everything is true except Agastya. I saw it after. At that time, I saw only Priyanshi's answer. Now I'm seeing everyone's answer. Okay. All right. Priyanshi, I'm showing you the first slide now. And then I only saw Priyanshi's answer. Then I saw your answers. Okay. All right. There is a lag. There is a slight lag in my phone when I'm getting the passage. All right, now next paragraph also. Whenever there's a direct question, what Priyanshi asks is a good thing that go back to the passage when you're not sure, right? So he has said this. He has said that the proposed DPBI's institutional design have not been resolved by these proposed rules. So which one is true? Your answers were mostly correct. This it did not resolve concerns, right? This is correct. The it remains a point of contention. Private, he just says there should not be surveillance, but he does not say who is responsible for it. And the government has not. He has it has covered everything in secrecy. Therefore, the correct answer is uh, option B. All right. Okay, question 4. Which of the following can be concluded from the last paragraph of the passage? Let me first show you the options. Don't give me answers. We'll read the options. I'll show you the last paragraph. All right? An open consultation process is crucial for equitable data protection legislation. Surveillance by private enterprise is the primary focus of the draft rules. The draft rules prioritize the needs of technology firms over individual users, or data protection in India should focus primarily on government surveillance practices. I'll take you back to the last paragraph. Okay, the entire thing seems to be last paragraph. Editorials normally come in two paragraphs. That's the problem. All right. So, government has put the whole process in secrecy. For legislation where the stakes are high for individual users as well as for firms, you need an open deliberative process, right? Industry, public have to be equal participants. There should be transparency, right? The government should proceed with the principles in mind that it has to listen to the stakeholders, but remember the main objective of a data protection law, correct? And it should make these rules quickly. Okay, now let's look at question 4. What can be concluded? Question 4. What can be concluded? A, B, C, or D? Priyanshi says A, Anusha says A, Agastya says A. What about the rest? All right, excellent. Yes, it is A, because these are outright wrong. He did not say surveillance is the primary focus of the draft rules. Second, it prioritizes the need of technology over individuals. He says both should be given importance. He did not say again about government surveillance practices. Therefore, answer is A. Excellent. All of you are doing so well. I'm tempted to give a tougher passage next time. No, we'll first 5, 6 passages, we'll keep it like this from editorials. All right, what does the author imply in the following lines? For legislation where the stakes are high, for individual users as well as for large technology firms, an open deliberative process is essential. Basically, explain the sentence. That's what it's saying. And CLAT loves asking these questions. Which of the following describes the meaning of this sentence best? Which is why I've given this question. Question 5, two answers in so far. Is it A, technology firms should have greater input in drafting high stake legislation? Individuals and firms should negotiate their interests privately to avoid delays. Out of scope. Nowhere has he said who should have greater impact. High stake legislation requires balanced input from individual users and technology firms. Okay. Therefore, all of you have given the right answer. Anusha, Agastya, Priyanshi, good, good, excellent. What does the author mean by the stakes are high? Quick, for this you don't need nothing. Quick, fastest finger first. Only private enterprises face significant losses from the legislation. The risks and consequences of the legislation are significant for all involved. The rules will have minimum impact, but they're politically symbolic. Legislation is costly to implement and affects government budget. Stakes are high means the stakes means what is the risks involved, the consequences. That is what it means. Okay, what is at stake is your reputation, means at risk. So stakes are high basically means they are significant. For whom? For all involved. Got it? Excellent. 6B is the answer. Which of the following means the same as an equal footing? This is easy peasy, cakewalk. Question 7. Being in a position where everyone has equal opportunities and rights, a scenario where private companies have an advantage over the general public, where all parties are expected to follow similar rules, or ensuring transparency for one group at the expense of another. What is the meaning of an equal footing? Easy question, quick. One, two, three. I've got all answers. Give me the question number next time. Okay? All right. Next. What does the expression it has to play out? He says, and the rules have to play out in a timely manner. What does the author mean play out by play out? To repeat an action until it becomes ineffective, to end abruptly without resolution, to dramatize or exaggerate a situation, or to unfold or take place over time. Let's see how the situation plays out, unfolds, or take place over time. He says these rules have to play out in a timely manner, means do it quickly. In that sense, he has mentioned it. All right, excellent. So we did very well. Any questions, any doubts? Next time, let me get a business and economy passage, a little tougher. And again, we'll have the same set of questions: main theme or primary purpose, assumption, conclusion, inference, and a couple of um vocabulary and grammar questions. All right. Every time we will just change the genre slightly. One law, one current affairs. So your GK also, your general knowledge will also be improve. Okay, one international relations, 1 week one, whatever catches our fancy. Yes, I will start making more challenging passages. Okay, y'all are doing well. Sometimes what happens if you give too many challenges, we have just started, right? If the passage is too challenging and somebody doesn't get the questions right, he or she gets disheartened, and you don't want that. So we start with easy passages, but we can make it alternate weeks. 1 week easy, 1 week moderate, and 1 week difficult. Next time I'll make it a little more challenging. All right. हो गया ना अगस्त्य, बहुत बार हो गया है प्रीवियस ईयर क्लैट पैसेज. If you want previous year cat passage would be the easiest thing. Those passages are easy also, so I can pattern it on a previous year cat passage. Maybe that would be better. Okay, or maybe take, like, there was some very nice ones. I remember there was one on I don't remember if it was CLAT or ALET, but there was this passage on speeches. That was very nice. Some years they come up with very nice ones. Yeah, yeah, lot of they do it to death previous year passages, but we'll do it. Okay, so after the editorial, after we are done with one passage, then we'll quickly take maybe this year's or last year's one passage quickly, and do it in 5 minutes. So 5 questions from this editorial and 5 questions from a previous year passage. All right, that way you will have both. Right? Okay. I'll see you again next Monday exactly at 8. I hope you liked the session. If you did, then press the like button, share it with your friends, attend uh, all the sessions meant for law aspirants on our YouTube channel. Obviously, you have to subscribe to it. And once you do that, it will help you in your preparation. It will help you gauge the kind of teaching that is done in career launcher, so that you can choose a course to join if you want to. All right, see you very soon. See you again next Monday at 8 p.m. Until then, bye bye.